Hey, hey. Okay. Oh, my darling, I hunger for your touch. Anyway, good to see you, whoever you is. I'm gonna play with this here guitar. I'm playing with this here guitar. Hey, hey there, Larly. Good to see you. Things are okay. Thanks, Larly. I let the chat populate just a little. Okay, I'll play the guitar just for a few minutes. Into the Black by Neil Young. Seems like just a couple of minutes. I've got a couple of things to talk about. Yeah, I'm doing well, Larly. Good to see you in here. Good to hear from you. Into the Black, Neil Young. Okay, let's do this. Okay. the world premiere of my gospel music singing. Okay. The gospel music singing time. Oh, come on, country music. Okay, gospel music. Song I come up with 30 years ago. A minor, G, and F. I have Mother Jerusalem, written a long time ago, about 30 years ago. Okay. Here we go. It's a Christian song I wrote 30 years ago. I've been slave almost far too long, bound to the flesh and the deeds of the law. The blood of bulls and goats never gave me peace of mind. Through the law, condemnation was unkind. Oh, Jerusalem, come and take me home. Rituals around me wherever I go. Mother Jerusalem, give me the promise made that way. Bring some hope to this life. Take away shades of gray. Oh. Mother Jerusalem, come and take me home. Rituals surround me wherever I go. Mother Jerusalem, give me the promise you made by faith. Bring some more to this life, way we take to grow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sunshine. Subscribe, Sunshine, if you haven't done so already. Mother Jerusalem, 1992 or 3 or 4. Yeah, that's Mother Jerusalem, maybe. Just songs. Find some songs that I actually like to sing, man. My sons, my people. I believe in the Bible and the four-legged people. I love myself more than I did. The 40s and the 50s were a good time. The 40s and 50s, stop talking. Jesus loves you. Get out of my head. I'm tired of you. Tired of you. Yeah. I sing a song for myself. 54 years old. Bible says, Mr. Smith, come to me. Mr. Smith, what were you thinking, sir? Sir. It was the 50s. The 50s were a good time period. Yeah, 50s is my time period. 50s, 1955. You say 1955. It's September 1957. September 1957. 1957. We're riding in a brand new 57 Chevrolet. 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Brand new. Yeah, brand new. Okay. Yes, that's what we're riding in. Brand new Chevy 57 Bel Air. Yes. Yeah. 54 years old. With a woman, a man that sings a song to his brother. They're 54 years old. Yeah, gospel music. I don't care too much. The 50s. 54 years old. My sons, the Bible says it is my world. I won't touch. It's religion. I am not religious. But it was the 50s. I was coming to these gospel songs I don't know about. Yeah, the Bible says 30s, 40s, 50s, 1955. Lost souls can be saved by faith. Yeah. 54. 1955. Yeah. Yeah, the 50s. The 50s was my time. Jesus and all that. 50s. The 50s was a good time. The 50s was my time. I like the 50s. 1955. 1955. Damn it. That's what I have to do. Damn it. Hello. It's put the idea that being on water and sailing can be an option to van life, you know? That if you lived on a sailboat and if you were, you know, boat dwelling, if you're boat dwelling, that would be an alternative to van life. That was my idea, was that boat dwelling can be sailing, cruising out in the ocean, or whatever, whether it's in the ocean or coastal cruising. Either way, living on a boat would be an alternative to van life. And it would be a good alternative, especially if you lost your driver's license. Like if my eyes got so bad that I couldn't drive and I lost my vision and I couldn't drive, there are people with impaired vision that can sail on sailboats. People can sail on sailboats with limited vision. Even blind people can sail, you know. You can sail easier than you can drive a car with bad eyes. So if that ever happened, but I'm going to try to take care of my eyes and my vision, the vision that I've got. So, but, you know, I'm going to have a job and work from time to time. Even if I did decide to live as a nomad, if I decided to live full-time as a nomad, I could live full-time as a nomad, but I still have to have a job and work. And that's the problem with boats. I mean, if you're I originally thought that I could anchor out, which is the idea of pulling into a bay or an area and just throwing out an anchor and taking a dinghy onto shore and going to work every day. And then going to work every day and then coming back to the boat. And you can anchor out in some of these areas. But in the it's mostly in places where you have unrestricted anchorage, is mostly in rural and in small communities. I was thinking I'd want to get a job in an urban area, in a nice urban area, and be able to live in a nice urban area and pull out anchorage and go to work every day. But I've been looking in California. There are so many laws. You have to have a permit in LA and along a lot of places on the California coast. You've got to have a permit to live in your boat. Now, RVs are technically not supposed to be lived in at all. But legally and technically, you can live aboard a boat. To get live aboard status, a boat usually has to be over 25 feet long. I would have to get a different boat, a bigger boat, to have legal live aboard status. At a marina, it's mostly at a marina. To get the permit to live aboard a boat in certain areas, you have to have in California, you have to have a live aboard permit. But in Florida, you don't really have to have a permit to live aboard your boat. Well, in California, you don't either, but in certain parts of California, a lot of California is just so much stricter than, Florida is easier. And I did some research about places and marinas that'll let you. Now, there are marinas that will let you live full-time in Florida. Now, it's like some part in LA, the marinas in LA and anchorages and moorings where you can live in LA, live aboard your boat in LA, in the LA area. Their limit is 30 feet. You have to have a 30-foot boat to be able to legally live aboard your boat in LA. So, and it's certain, they lifted the vehicle dwelling ban in LA, And they've made it to where there are certain parts of the city in LA that you can live in a vehicle. There are certain parts of, hey there, Glenda Wilson, subscribe if you haven't. Everyone, good to see you, Glenda Wilson. But in the San Francisco Bay Area, you think you might have to have a 35-foot boat to live aboard. And there's so many regulations and strict stuff with a 35-foot boat. In Florida, certain places you have to have a 25-foot boat, 26-foot boat. Now there is Hollywood, Florida. In Hollywood, Florida, you don't need a permit to live in a boat. You don't need special permit to live in a boat. Hollywood Marina, Hollywood, Florida, their limit is 26 feet. And it's hard to find liveaboard slips. There's only so many board slips that they'll let you stay. Basically, in these urban areas where I would want to have a job and work as a nomad, these urban areas where I'd want to live aboard a boat as a nomad and go to work every day, they won't let you anchor out for free. They won't let you anchor out and then go to work and take a dinghy. So you can live aboard a boat, but you're gonna have a hard time. If you live aboard a boat, you're gonna have a hard time going to work every day and having a place to park your boat while you go to work every day. That's going to be a serious problem going to work in these bigger cities that are coastal areas, because bigger cities have strict laws about anchoring boats in waters in their cities. And so, and that's a difficulty, being able to work and stuff and live aboard a boat at the same time. Part of the point of living aboard a boat is you won't have to have the problems of fixing your motor vehicle and having your car fixed. And if you lived in a place like California, you don't have to smog your car, because if you have a sailboat, you don't have to worry about smog and all these expensive things to worry about that vehicle owners have to worry about, is smogging their vehicles and car repair and stuff. If you just mostly use your sail or have an outboard engine, that's going to be easy. But the restrictions of making you have a great big boat to live aboard, that is going to make it difficult, because what they're doing to you, bigger boats are more expensive to maintain. If you have an inboard engine in your boat, it's going to be a lot more trouble. If you have an inboard engine, it's more trouble. If you have to put anti-foul paint on the bottom of your boat every so often. You have to have it hauled out of the water, and you have to have that, scrape the hole and have the anti-fouling, put the anti-foul on. A 35-foot boat, tell me, you know how much money it's going to cost to put anti-fouling on a 35-foot boat? I was thinking of a small boat, like a 22 feet, you can live on it, but if you can't get liveaboard status in a marina, and they won't let you anchor out in the harbor, if they won't let you anchor out in the harbor and go to work every day, you can't anchor out in the harbor and then go to work every day. Sure, you can live on your boat, but you've got to be a cruiser. You've got to constantly be cruising, moving from place to place. It's just that you have to constantly be moving from place to place. And if you have an ocean-capable sailboat, you can go 12 to 24 miles out. If you go 12 miles out, 12 to 24 miles off the coast, 12 to 24 miles off the coast into the ocean, then you can do whatever you want to do legally. And there are people do that. Some people call them seasteaders. Of course, that's the point about the truck camper and RV. Sure, you have problems to the RV, and you can boondock in a city like LA, and you can park your truck camper or van in the streets of the city of LA. But if you have all your windows blocked out and nobody can see in, how are they going to know you're in your vehicle? But yeah, and so living aboard an RV would be better in the sense that the only thing is if it's illegal in certain places to live in your RV, you just don't tell them you're in the RV. In my camper, I got the windows all blocked out in my truck camper. You can't see the lights on in my truck camper. And if you're really savvy about boondocking in the city, maybe there are certain places you can boondock, like in an industrial area, private property. But boondocking in an industrial area, you're fooey. Mm. Another thing is, hold on. Okay. P2E, good to see you. But anyway, living aboard a boat is a good thing. But what I'm saying is, one option to living the boat life is you want to be able to go to work every day. If you're going to live in a vehicle, you've got to be able to go to work every day. That's something you've got to be able to do, is go to work every single day. It, it's harder to find a place to park your boat all day when you go to work. It's hard to do. You know, the whole point of living on the boat is not have to worry about mechanical car problems. What? Yeah. Hold on just a minute. Let me block out the sound. Just hold on. Yeah, and an RV, you can drive it right to your job. Anyway, to make a long story short, living aboard a boat. The other thing is, if you want to go offshore, damn it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Either way, living aboard a boat, if you're in a bad storm, in your boat, if your boat breaks, if the mast breaks on your boat, the Coast Guard can actually forcibly remove you from your boat. The Coast Guard can actually rescue you and force you off your boat. That happened to a man who wanted to stay with his boat, and the Coast Guard rescued him and made him leave his boat in a storm, and his boat was gone. His boat sank or whatever. So it's not, you can always have hurricanes and serious storms that can destroy a boat. Hurricanes and serious storms on water can destroy a boat. You can live offshore in a boat and you can make it work, I'm sure, with storms and stuff. But you have to have a boat that can be like seasteading, Yeah, I'm waiting for him to call me. You have to make it like seasteading. You have to have a boat that's offshore capable to be able to live out in the ocean offshore all the time. You have to do that. And the only other problem is if you got sick and had to call the emergency room. What if you had a heart attack, You'd have to be somewhere where you could call 911. And it's hard to call 911 when you're 30 miles out in the ocean. So that's the only other problem now. This video is a perfect definition of van life, and it's the clip. And I can't find my clip now. Now I'm going to share this with you.
Just going to throw at you. And what is van life? For many people, van life is hitting the road, traveling all the time. And then for many other people, van life is simply buying and living in a van, parked in a backyard or on a farm, or like I did for years, within a major city. And once in a while going away on the weekends, but it was never about traveling for me. I never had the travel bug. I didn't feel a need to actually drive the van outside the city, other than to places like these islands, which are very close by. So van life was never about travel for me. Van life, the term van life can mean many things to many different people. And whether the van itself is moving or not is irrelevant. If you've chosen the van to live in as your main home base, that's van life. It doesn't matter to me if it even has friggin' wheels on it. It's still van life. So I'm not giving up the van life. In fact, one of the main is going to throw at you. And what is van life?
Here it is.
For many people, van life is hitting the road, traveling all the time. And then for many other people, van life is simply buying and living in a van, parked in a backyard or on a farm, or like I did for years, within a major city. And once in a while going away on the weekends, but it was never about traveling for me. I never had the travel bug. I didn't feel a need to actually drive the van outside of the city, other than to places like these islands, which are very close by. So van life was never about travel for me. Van life, the term van life can mean many things to many different people. And whether the van itself is moving or not is irrelevant. If you've chosen the van to live in as your main home base, that's van life. Doesn't matter to me if it even has friggin' wheels on it. It's still van life. So I'm not giving up the van life. In fact, one of the main is going to throw at you. And what is van life?
That's my point to me there, is what is van life, What is van life, Here's a thing that says Boondockers Welcome. It's a website. Boondockers Welcome, Locals invite RVers to park on their property, share their stories, and get a good night's rest. Boondocking at over 3,000 locations with no camping fees. And you can also have another thing. There's another website where you pay to stay on the property. It's a picture of a truck camper. I mean, in these big cities. So that's what I have to say. You can make van life more versatile. Goodbye.